Good afternoon and welcome to Chit Chat with the Journey Sisters. This afternoon, I'm a little laid back than usual because I have been in a positive, reflective mode for the past few weeks. I don't know if you ever heard about positive, reflective mode. And so my attitude is positive, but my energy is very relaxed. But again, good afternoon and welcome to Chit Chat with the Journey Sisters. This afternoon, I have with me my co-host, my faithful co-host, Miss Janelle Drayton, and also I have with me Miss Faith Gore. Am I saying that correctly?
Yeah, you got it right.
Faith, you might see a little delay on the broadcast because of where Faith is coming in from. And I'm gonna have Faith go right ahead and introduce herself. Tell us what she does. Tell her where she's coming in from. That's the exciting part. Tell us where she's coming from. Tell us what time it is over there. So go right ahead, Faith, and introduce yourself.
Hello, everyone. My name is Faith Gore, and I come from Kenya. Yeah, that's in Africa.
Wow.
it's it's 10 p.m. So actually, some of my family members are going to bed now. And here. I thank God for the privilege to hang out with you.
Definitely
Yeah.
happy to have you, Faith.
So
Definitely.
tell
So
us
just
what you
tell us a
do,
little
Faith.
bit. Yeah, what about what you do?
Oh, thank you. So I am a beacon of hope and a source of inspiration. I educate children. I do this mostly in homeschooling, and I'm also a Bible teacher. Besides that, I share my story to inspire others to live beyond their pain. I'm also an artist. I do recycled art to tell stories.
I love that.
Awesome. That's beautiful. That's
It
beautiful. You should
is.
see some of the artworks.
Oh
Beautiful,
my
beautiful. Thank
God.
you so much
Wow.
for being here, Faith. Thank you so much. And
I'm
Jane
delighted.
now, go right ahead and introduce yourself.
I am extremely happy. Hello, everyone. Of course, yes, I'm Janelle, and I'm your life fulfillment coach. I am always ecstatic to share this platform with Miss Alicia on Chit Chat with the Journey Sisters and Faith Goa. I am so happy to meet you. You're the
Thank
first
you.
person that I've spoken to live from Kenya, Africa, ever in
Oh,
my life.
oh,
So it's
that's
amazing.
amazing.
Thank you so much. I know you have a beautiful story to share, and we can't wait to hear it. But I do wear many hats. The one that I'm really proud of, I'm a life fulfillment coach. I help people to uncover their purpose and get clarity on the vision for their lives, why you're here, what you're supposed to be doing. And so that you can serve humanity and serve the world in a capacity that fulfills your destiny. And so today I'm happy to be here, like I said. And if you don't know, I am usually the excited and really over the top sometimes. So Alicia, she knows me by now. All she got to do is say, calm down just a little bit. I promise I'm going to be good today, though. This is a really good topic, and I can't wait to delve into it. But I'm going to behave, Alicia, I promise.
All right. I appreciate you. Thank you so much, Janelle, and thank you so much, Faith, for being here. I am Alicia Alexander, and I am your forgiveness coach. A lot of times we talk about forgiveness and we think it's the easiest thing to do. We say it, and whenever you're in a situation, people say, just forgive. It is not the easiest thing to do, but it's doable and it's a healing process. It's a process that is necessary, not necessarily for the individual that you want to forgive, but for you in order to go to the next level. And I work with individuals who have experienced a traumatic event. And for me, forgiveness is what freed me. I speak to the voice of forgiveness. All I hear is forgiveness. I don't know how to do nothing other than forgive. And so, therefore, I am your forgiveness coach. I enjoy being on this platform. I look forward to it. And This has just been an awesome experience. So thank you, ladies, for being here, and thank you for just everything you do, not just in this capacity, but to reach mankind. This afternoon, recently I have been dealing with some challenges. And the beauty about challenges, I love challenges because when I overcome one, it takes me to the next level. It's a fulfillment when I overcome that challenge. But the thing about challenges is that you have a choice. You can decide I'm going to deal with it, or I'm just going to ignore it and let it be. But if you do decide to deal with it, the approach that you take, how diligent you are with that challenge will determine the outcome. Um, because the power is entirely in your hand. And either the decision that you make, whether to deal with it or to ignore it, has consequences.
Hmm.
And I absolutely enjoy a good consequence. Not that you can't learn from the bad ones, but consequences that are good are fulfilling.
Mm.
So the challenge I'm dealing with have given me an opportunity to sit back and reflect. And I'm going somewhere with this. And as I reflect, it makes me wonder, why is it that at this point I haven't crumbled? Why is it that I'm still willing to deal with it? Why is it that I haven't fallen apart? Why is it that I'm still on that path to success and I haven't thrown my hands up in the air and think that there's no solution?
Mhm.
And I started reflecting on instances in my life, events in my life that might have prepared me for now. And as a result, I started thinking about the ones in our lives. And when I say the ones in our lives, I'm not talking about individuals. I'm talking about the moments in your life, things that took place, the events that happened, the words that were said that made such an impact that you either grew or got into a shell. And I'm going to tell you about the story, before I even get there. The truth is, a lot of us face challenges, and I'm going to put a guarantee on that. And the reason why I'm putting a guarantee on that is because we're in an imperfect world. So all of us have emotions that we deal with. All of us have these challenges that face us. But how we deal with it is the ultimate outcome, is the ultimate, reward. One of the challenges I dealt with, and you might think that it's insignificant, but to me it meant a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't realize how small things from childhood can make a difference. Growing up in the islands, I was very skinny. I was small bodied, if you know what skinny is. I was skinny. And my skin was dry. I'm not gonna try and sugarcoat it. I'm just gonna be try and be as transparent as possible. And I would always have to have lotion, and if not lotion, Vaseline. So now I'm skinny. I have Vaseline to always put on my skin. I'm in the islands. When you grease up your skin and the sun shining it, what do you look like? And children are not always kind.
Mm.
They can be cruel.
Mm.
So they used to call me lizard because my skin
Oh.
would crack so much. Now add insult to injury. I don't know which part, nobody has a perfect body. But on my feet, I have some big feet. My second toe on both feet, are longer than the others.
Mm.
And I
Yeah.
had a problem with that. And apparently it was a laughing matter as well, right? So now I am skinny, I'm tall, I have scaly skins, and I have a toe that's longer than the others. So I didn't want to wear short sleeves. I did not want to wear heels. I didn't want to wear sandals because, everything became a laughing matter. When I had the opportunity to visit my father's family when I was about, I think, 11 or 12. And when I saw my relatives for the first time, and I saw something happen, and I looked at one of them, at their feet, and somebody had toes longer than mine.
Mm.
And I got so excited. Their skin was like mine. I got so excited. I I was like a kid in a candy store because at that point in time, I realized it wasn't just me.
Mm.
There was somebody else like me. And not only that, it was not a topic of conversation, my skin or my feet.
Mm. Mm.
And if it did come up in a conversation, it became a laughing matter in a friendly way. It wasn't a laughing matter in a teasing way. But going back to the children that were around me and the kids that I played with, when they teased me about my skin and my feet, it did something to my confidence.
Mm.
It did something to me where I did not want to speak in public. I didn't want to talk to anybody. I didn't want to go do anything. The girls would go when we go to the beach on picnic days. They put on their little outfits and their little swimsuits and they on the beach parading. I didn't want to do none of that because I know once the salt water hit my skin, that
Mm.
was it. And I would wear socks to the beach.
Oh.
Wow.
I wore a socks to the beach.
I've
If you
never.
ask my family members, it's a if it's nothing, if they don't remember me by anything else, they remember I used to wear socks to the beach because I would walk right up to the water and take the socks off. Then when I get out of the water, they're different to put back on because I was so conscious of the way my things that people said and the way my body was,
Mm.
and that had a profound impact on me. Yes, it was negative. But at the same time, when I found out that there were others like me, the tables turned.
Mm.
I got back home to Antigua and I didn't care no more
Mm.
because I wasn't the only one.
Mm.
I wasn't bold because now they can't see, they still see me as the only one. But in my mind, and I knew because I seen it, that there were others like me. Now just imagine how many other instances, not just mine, of people using words or using things that they might think is a tease, especially children. And
Mm.
sometimes adults just encourage it too, where it influence or it changed your trajectory or it changed the outlook that you had on life.
Mm.
I wanted to be in my mind, I wanted to be involved in all kinds of things that we're doing in school.
Mm.
The glee club, the this, the that, on this team, be a part of this committee and whatnot. But because I was so conscious of what they said or what they thought, I didn't want to get involved. And it hurt. I'm not going to make it seem like it hurt. And it hurt for a long time. And even though I say I saw my cousins and my uncle and my brother, and they all had skin like mine back in Grenada, it hurt.
Mm.
It hurt that people can be so cruel and not realizing what they're doing to you.
Mm.
How do you get past that? And I'm saying all this to say we have these challenges and we have these ones in our lives that determine your outcome.
Mm.
Do we go from it? Do we learn from it? Or do we give in to it?
Mm.
Yes.
And feel free to give your take, to share what your experiences. I just vividly thought about that one and it stayed. How many
Mm.
Yeah.
years later? I'm 40 something.
Yeah.
I'm a seasoned person now. but because it had such an impact, I can't forget it.
Mm.
I
Yeah.
cannot. I'm not
Yeah.
hurting, but I can.
Mm.
Yeah, Alicia, I want to just kind of piggyback off of what you're saying. And I want to make sure that our audience know that the purpose of this show, the Chit Chat with the Journey Sisters, we are all on a personal journey. We're all going somewhere, whether you know it or not. We are all going somewhere. Some of us are going contrary, but some of us, but we're all going somewhere. And so we want you to know that the purpose of this show is just to really be transparent with different things that we have dealt with so that we can show you, how we've overcome it, the challenges.
Mhm.
We want to inspire everyone that comes in contact with this video. So, the things that we say, you may be surprised, like, oh my God, I didn't know she was dealing with this, or I didn't know she was dealing with that. But the purpose of it is we want to make sure that we're being real and transparent because people are looking for the truth now. There are a lot of fake make believe things on TV now, and you can't even decide or decipher what's real on the news. And so we want this to be a platform where we're able to share some of our most intimate moments, things that have changed our lives, and to say what you just said, Alicia, about people saying things that hurt you. I just believe that people a lot of times don't even know the things that they're saying is
Mm.
hurting you. I remember I used to exercise back home. I've been trying to lose weight all my life. So I remember exercising home, and I guess when I was walking, I was touching up against a certain type of tree that I was allergic to. Never knew that before in my life. And it just broke my body out in hives. So in order for them to calm it down, they gave me steroids. And honestly, if anybody had ever taken steroids before, honey, you would put on 10 pounds in a week. So I was trying to figure out why I was getting so big and all my clothes. I had to borrow clothes from a friend because my clothes it got smaller overnight. And I remember
Mhm.
this lady saw me in the food store and she looked at me. She said, "Oh my God, are you eating everything in sight? How big do you want to get?"
Oh.
And I'm thinking, Faith, like, okay, so
Oh.
my initial reaction was to, slap her, put my Bible down for a minute and just deal with her. But I was so shocked and I was so hurt. And I was like,
Sorry.
sometimes we say things and we don't even know the effect that it has on
Mm.
people. Um,
Mm.
and when she said that to me, that has been, Alicia, at least close to 20 years ago. But
Mm.
I've never forgotten. It had to be like in 2000 and maybe 3 or 4. That's a long time ago. But
Mm.
that's something I never forgot. And right now, as I think about it, I should send her a picture of me now and tell her send me a picture of her. But anyway, we're not going to do that. We're not going to play tick for tack on this show. But we're just talking about, they have this cliche that says, "Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words cannot
Mm.
Oh,
hurt me."
you took my
Mm.
That
words.
is a lie. That
Yes.
Mm.
is definitely, I don't know. I don't know who came up with that. If I ever meet that person, I'm going to tell them that that's a fat out lie. But it's very important, even as women, Faith, that we got
Mhm.
to be careful the words that we allow to come out of our mouth, even around our
Mm.
children,
Mm.
because they listen to us. They watch how we live. A lot of times they may not understand everything, but they watch us, and as they get older, they emulate the things that we do and the
Mm.
things that we say. And even
Mm.
at 42 and a quarter years old, or 42 and 3/4,
Mm.
I still say things. I find myself saying things that my mom used to say, and I'm like, "Oh, I didn't like that when I was growing up." Now I'm saying it.
You're repeating it.
So it's important for us to watch the words. But I just wanted to
Mm.
piggyback off of that one moment, and I'm telling you, that one moment, it just made me so bitter inside, and I just kept saying, I don't understand why people can just say so many hurtful things. But it was just something that stuck with me, and hey, I like Alicia. I ain't told y'all like all the way over it. I ain't like Alicia. If I see her now, I would love to tell her. But anyway, I just leave it right there. But Dr. Faith, what about you? What about your experiences with the ones in your life?
Oh, the ones are many. So
Where
we'll
do you
just go
begin,
through
right?
this. Yeah. Let's go through them. So I'll probably talk about the recent one. So I just realized that I think I was nervous when we were starting. I forgot to mention a few things. So I am a lonely daughter and I have five older brothers. I have six nieces and four nephews. And I live with my mother. And I have been privileged to serve my mother for the past 15 years. So my mother got a road traffic accident in 2006. I was 14 then. So I've been serving her literally half my life.
Wow.
Yeah. So recently, last year, right after her birthday, a week before her birthday, she had gone to hospital. She had some pains, and so she went to hospital for checkup. And then the doctor said that we need to do a biopsy. And yeah, we went for it. And then a week later was her birthday. And the next day we were to go pick her results. And when we went to the doctor said it's cervical cancer. I felt betrayed by God. Because here I am thinking, now my mom is fine and I'll probably now figure out my life and, probably detach, even physically away from her. But now with cancer and how I had worked in a lifestyle center before where we were attending to cancer patients and I saw how ugly cancer is. And so I was like, yo, this can't be happening. I literally felt betrayed by God. And so I couldn't cry. I couldn't express it because she went in shock. And being the only daughter, I now gathered all the coping techniques I had and appeared okay for that season. And so after 2 weeks, yeah, I think after 2 weeks, we managed to take her to hospital. I really thank God for our friends. They helped us raise funds, and then she went in for surgery, and they did a total abdominal hysterectomy, and then after that, there's trouble because she came back home. That meant, so you see, she's also diabetic. So that means diabetes and wounds don't go well. That means checking her sugar all the time. So her sugar had really shoot up, and now she was on insulin. So through the night, I needed to wake up sometimes and check her sugar. Sometimes I'd wake up and give her painkillers. So that ran like that for 2 weeks because immediately after surgery, she needed to be stable. So here's the thing: I'm a poor feeder, so I can easily skip meals. And with the lack of sleep, now appetite goes completely, and now the emotions are not even there. Okay, you have the not the best emotions, you have the other emotions, you're irritable and you don't see anything good in life. So there was this particular day, I think I was so drained on that particular day, and I just felt dark in the morning, and I was like, you know what, God, I think I'm done. I think I'm done and I want to quit. Not quitting going somewhere, but quitting ending my life completely. Because it's not as though I really wanted to die, but it's because I wanted to end the pain. And for me, what appeared to completely end the pain was death. Because at that time, my mind was so blocked that I couldn't see the support I was getting around.
Mm-hmm.
And so I took a walk and I was just negotiating with God. And I was like, I think I'm out. I'm done. I'm going to end my life. And so through my thoughts, I believe it was God reasoning with me. And he was like, but what will people say? You've been talking about me, you share Bible stories with children. What will they say about your faith? And I was like, I'm not Jesus. I didn't die for them. Jesus died for them. I'm done. I'm not able to bear life. I can't handle these things. So they need to follow Jesus. I mean, and so I again, the Lord just listened to me. And then the other thought came, but when you kill yourself, you will perish forever. And I was like, is there anything worth living for?
Hmm.
Because last time I checked, I don't see anything good in my life.
Hmm.
When I look back into my life, I see pain from childhood. And I'm like, it's okay. Let me just lose it because after all, I never gained anything good in life. Again, the Lord just stayed with me in my thoughts. And then the next thought was, so why don't you give me this one chance?
Hmm.
I'm like, one chance for who? And then the other thought was like, but what will happen to your mother? Like, how will your mother feel after you've killed yourself? I'm like, okay, fine. I can bear until she recovers so that the burden is not too much on her. Then God reminded me about a few of my friends who were constantly checking on me. But you see, at that time, I needed somebody present. I needed somebody to just give me a hug and tell me I'm not crazy.
Mhm.
And so I was like, okay, fine. Maybe I'll leave this one time for my friends, and probably I'll leave to see my mother recover. So I went back home. I took my journal and I wrote what I experienced. Then after that, I was like, I would like to do some art. So I was like, aha. So I didn't want to knit. I didn't want to crochet. I wanted to do something different. And so I thought about some bottles I had in the house. And I was like, why don't you make vases out of these bottles? I was like, yeah, that could be nice. Let me try that out. So I took yarn, I got glue, and then I began weaving. And here's, oh my goodness, it's gonna fall. Okay, let me just pull one. So this is one of the first vases I made.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's out of yarn. And I'm going to show you this other one. And here's another one.
Wow. Nice.
Pretty.
So so I made that and people liked that in the house. And then my mother told me to make more and I did. And then after that, like nothing came to my mind while I was working on the art. And then after that, I was like, I'd like to make something for my wall. And I was like, I don't want to paint. I'm not good in painting, but I can draw. Then I was like, what about I like doing mosaic, using broken pieces, putting them together to bring a beautiful piece of art. And so I was like, I'm going to use fabric. So I took some of my old clothes and then I cut them. Some were not so old, but I was like, I'll use this one. So I just cut it out. And then I went and picked some pieces from a tailor's shop. And these are waste pieces, like what the tailor throws away. I came back and I did a wall art. Um, like what's right behind me, like this. Okay, I
It's
don't know whether that's
beautiful.
clear.
It's beautiful. I can see
Let
it.
me just show you this. Yeah. Can you see that?
Yeah, that's
Yes,
beautiful.
it is. Looks
Yeah.
like
Yes.
Africa. Is it
Yeah,
the
that's
continent?
yeah, this is a woman. This is a woman carrying the continent. Like
The
it's the women.
nation.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So I did that. And one time when I was working on when I was doing more work, the Lord brought a lesson, an objective lesson from the work that I was doing. From the wall art, because the reason I wanted to end my life was because when I was 5, I was sexually abused by
Hmm.
three teenage boys, and this introduced me into a dark world. It robbed me of my childhood,
Hmm.
and um It introduced me into a painful life and a very secretive life and a bitter life and a resentful life and and a heart full of desire to revenge. So, as if that was not enough, I was again abused when I was 10. This happened when I was my way to school, in a bus. By looking back, I now understand that this is somebody who identified that I was a child who used to board the bus alone, and so he won my trust because every time I would board the bus, he would help me carry my bag, and he would smile at me and say hi to me. So he had groomed me, and then after that particular incident when I was 10, I attempted suicide. So first, I tried crossing the road badly, carelessly, so that I could get knocked by a car. But by God's grace, the driver swerved, so I wasn't knocked. I went to school, but it was so painful. It was painful. It's an ugly experience. I wouldn't want anyone to go through that. And then when that did succeed, I again attempted suicide by taking my mom's medication when I was at home. But I wasn't able to swallow. I threw up. And so there was that. And then when I was 12, I I got violated sexually by my Sabbath school lesson teacher. And now I believed that I was cursed. I believed I was cursed. I believed that something is wrong with me. I believed that I was the one who was attracting the men to me. But you see, all these were lies that Satan was dumping in my head. And so all this while, I never told anyone. So I first talked about it when I was 19. I had gone to a youth conference, and you see, after the violation when I was 12 by the by my Bible teacher, I lost my view towards God completely. The one that happened at 5 made me view God as a judge. So you see, I grew up in shame and guilt. And when it happened now from somebody whom I looked up to, I now knew that for real, I'm a black sheep, or, I'm just cursed. So I grew up feeling like trash. So when you went for this Bible, so I never used to pay attention to sermons. Like sermons would be preached and I would black out completely. When we are singing, I'm alert. When sermons begin, I'm off. And so this particular day, somehow the Lord used the pastor to speak to me. So the pastor, whatever he taught, he taught. And when he was done, the only thing I remember is he said, he was talking about don't awaken love before it's time. And then he said, I know that there are some of you who are here and you were probably introduced into sexuality through abuse. And I got alert. Mostly I would go to church with a notebook and a pen, and during the sermon, I would draw things because I'm not able to pay attention. I couldn't connect completely. And the moment he said that, I stopped drawing and I looked up. I felt as though I was the only one in the room. I felt as though he was talking to me. And then he said that the Lord promises, and then he read Isaiah 61 verse 3, that the Lord promises to give us beauty for ashes. That's the only thing I remember. I didn't bother to memorize the other parts. That's the only thing I held. God is able to give me beauty for ashes. He's able to restore me. Because you see, the purity culture had made me believe that I was damaged goods. Because you see, the purity culture glorifies virginity. You see, because they teach you abstain so that you get married as a virgin and you probably enjoy your sex better. But what if somebody abstains and they never get married? So where do we group them? You see. So growing up, so marriage was glorified and virginity was glorified, and so I grew up feeling like trash. And when pastor talked about that, I felt like, you know how the Bible says that arise and shine. Exactly. So I knew that my dawn has come. And then he
Mm-hmm.
said that after the sermon, if somebody would like to talk to any of them, they stay behind. I stayed behind. Okay, I walked out fast, then I came back because I didn't want people to see me. So I came back and I had a session. It was most like an hour plus session. That was the first time I opened my mouth to talk about what happened to me when I was 5, when I was 10, and when I was 12. And then in my early 20s, a friend robbed me of my he violated me sexually. Again, that broke my trust now on humanity. So you see, already I had grown up with a mentality towards men. Then when I was 13, my dad separated with my mother. So the only security I had, like I looked up to my dad for security, but he left. So I was left confused. I wondered, so who am I really? Because you see, many times we find our identity in our fathers. And I was like, so who am I? Am I an orphan or what am I really? So
Mm-hmm.
life was that confusing. Then I think what helped me cope with all these things was now the caregiving experience, because now I focused on another pain and numbed my pain. So when I was looking, when I, now in December last year, when I was looking back into my life and I'm seeing all these broken pieces, I'm like, who am I really? What do I have in my life? I have nothing. I'm trash. You know. Then while I was working on a certain wallet, the Lord revealed to me why He brought this idea into my mind. And here it is. You see how I'd go into a tailor's shop and pick my raw material from their trash. Because what do we put in trash?
Things that we
General.
don't need.
Exactly, things
Mm-hmm.
that we don't need.
Right.
Things that you have used, and when you're done using it, you
You
throw
throw
it
it
away.
away. Mm-hmm.
Exactly. So things that you don't need, you throw away. And if somebody finds value in it, they'll take it, they'll go recycle. Now, the Lord revealed to me that though the devil may have used other people to come and break me, because we are sexual beings. And when somebody touches you, violates your sexuality, then they have truly broken you as a person. They have robbed you of who you are. They have taken your security away from you. How do I know this? When I was in elementary school, every time we were to fill a form, you know how in the past they never used to use gender, they would use sex. So every time I would see that, I used to think they were asking, have you ever had sex or not? Because yeah, that's how tormenting it was. I was like, every time I see the word sex, I'm like, oh, probably they know what happened to me. Or probably they know, they know my life. And so that's how it damaged me. And even it brought confusion to my gender. Like I felt like a male trapped in a female body, you know. And so coming back to the lesson that God brought into my mind, He showed me that just how Satan has ruined my life and I feel like trash, he's able to pick me without shame. He's not ashamed of me. He will pick me. And just how I was able to do recycled art, him is not going to recycle. No, he's going to transform me.
Yes.
And he's not going to throw away those things. He's going to use my broken pieces and bring them into a beautiful piece of art, just like this, where
Yes.
people can admire, and I'll be able to point them to him who recreated me into who I am right now. And that really touched my life. And I was like, yo, I could be broken, but I'm beautiful.
Mhm.
And the other lesson that I learned from the bottle is I also pick the bottles from trash. Most of them are wine bottles. Who wants to be seen picking wine bottles from trash? No one. But just how I pick that because I know their value is the same way God picks me. He knows my value. He picks me without shame. And He said that for my shame, He's going to give me double. So He picks me, He washes me inside and outside. And if I allow Him, He's going to mold me patiently in His hands according to His schedule. And then I'll end up becoming like this, a vase
Right.
that will not only be admired, but can hold flowers in the house. So that's the lesson that God showed me. He reminded me that though shame made me want to fit in, through His love, I belong to Him. That I don't need to try to fit in. I already belong to Him. So this is the lesson that I learned last year when I wanted to end my life. And the greatest story that I can connect with in the Bible is the story of the woman at the well. You see, this woman was broken in ways that are not really detailed in the Bible. But how do we know that she was broken? She had had different relationships with men. I I assume she was seeking for validation, probably approval.
Mm-hmm.
Probably her identity wasn't clear. But she knew that the Messiah would come. And so she knew that people didn't like her, people were talking about her, and so she hid, meaning she was ashamed of herself. And so she comes to the well to fetch water. And Christ sees her and comes there. So, number one, Jesus breaks their, how do you call it?
Tradition.
Their,
The
exactly,
tradition.
their culture,
Mm-hmm.
you know? He goes beyond culture and traditions to sort for his own. And so he went and he speaks to this woman. So Christ was actually, he was trying to bring her to the here and now when asking her for water, but her mind was so far away because of her insecurities, you know. And so Christ was talking to her to try and meet her pain, but she started telling Jesus of, our grandfathers would worship in the mountains, you know. And then while Christ was continuing to talk to her, again she tells him that she knows that her Messiah will come, you know. So she talks to Jesus about her past and her future. Those were her insecurities. In the same way, when God was permitting me to go through pain, He
Mm-hmm.
wanted to show me what He wants to heal in my life for that season. But what was I showing Him? How I don't have a future and how my past stinks. And that didn't really matter to Him. Yes, He got it, but what He wanted to show me is, I know you have this pain and that's what I want to heal. But you see, God is also merciful. He can't force us into things. And so I had to feel so that I could heal. So He revealed to me what I needed, and then I was able to somehow accept it. And truly, He has given me hope since then up to now. And you see how this woman allowed Jesus to lead her into vulnerability, in this sense that she was able to acknowledge that indeed the man that she lived with was not her husband. Is the same way Jesus knocks into our hearts every day. He comes to Alicia and says, "Hey, Alicia, there's this issue, this matter with so and so. Would like us to sort it." And many times we throw tantrums. We're like, "I don't want to deal with that right now," and we numb the pain. But what God is actually doing, He's trying to heal us. And if you'll allow me, I'll use an illustration of an onion. Healing is like the onion. We don't heal here and now. We may not heal in a snap, but we heal in layers, like this onion. So deep down at the core of this onion, there's a white stuff over there. Like it's pure, it's not purple, it's white completely. For me to get the whole of it, I have to peel the onion layer by layer.
Mm-hmm.
It ain't easy, is it? No. I'll peel the first layer, it will tear. The next one, it will tear. And then what happens when you're peeling the onion? It smells and it will make you cry. That's the same thing that happens with healing. When you're healing, it's uncomfortable. Sometimes you have to grieve. Sometimes you'll have to get mad at yourself. You'll get mad at people who are, who are supposed to care for you and they didn't. But you still have to heal anyway because it's your life. Your life is your responsibility. But many times you like shortcuts. When I cut the onion like this,
Mm-hmm.
what happens is I'm not able to get the whole thing. I've already cut it. So I have damaged it. I've damaged what I was looking for. God desires to make us whole, like the inner part of the onion.
Mm-hmm.
That won't happen in a day. And we'll have to be patient with ourselves and with Him as He's healing us according to His schedule.
Faith, I want you to just stop right there. That was just, you got to give us some time to digest everything that you just so candidly shared. And we can't say how we appreciate you just being vulnerable, you just being very transparent, because there are a lot of people that are even watching today that may have experienced some of the things that you have.
I'm
Mhm.
sitting right here, Janelle.
I know that you have a lot to say, Miss Alicia.
You can
I
see it.
just want to say thank you, Faith, because when we are able to be real, okay, when we are able to be real with what's really bothering us, what's really, when we get to the root, not just the fruit, when we
Mm,
get to the root
mm,
of the pain and we're able to talk about it, then we can allow God to heal it. But the problem is,
mm,
we're just so used to being spiritual,
mm,
so
mm,
used to having this image, and we don't want people to know what we've been through. We don't want people to know the struggles that we're dealing with. So
mm,
we cover it up being spiritual.
mm,
Mhm.
But what happens is your life becomes unfruitful. And like that onion you just cut in half, a portion of it is destroyed because
mm,
rather than you allowing God to take off the layers and
mhm,
heal you piece by piece, bit by bit, and you get stronger and He nurses you back to good health, you just want to take a shortcut and you want to quickly finish the process before
mm,
you yourself are fully processed.
mm, mm,
So that is where a lot of people are stuck, why they are unproductive, why they are stagnant, why things are not going, because they won't deal with the truth. But thank you, Faith, for standing in your truth. I know, Alicia, you can put the ice and the cherry on top of the cake because your story is almost similar to Faith. Do
mm.
you want to share with the people just a little bit about what you've been through? I know we don't have all the time, but I want you to just share a little bit because you've been there. Take us back there.
I am Faith. I have total admiration for you,
Thank you.
and I can relate to what you spoke to.
Mm,
I might not have been through so many traumas,
mm,
but regardless, even one makes a huge difference.
does.
And as I listened to you talking about being sexual abused, I remember when that took place with me, and I'm not going to go into details, but I can remember when it happened. I did not know if it was for the better, or
Mm,
if life was going to get better, or if life was going to be worse.
mm,
I just knew in that moment that my life had changed.
mm,
And there were a lot of emotions. And you might think, how can they be so candid in discussing something that's so horrific? There were emotions of hate,
Mm.
there were emotions of trust
Mm.
issues, there were also emotions of wanting more because that's all you knew. And that is something I struggled with for years because I did not know the difference. Was it wrong to feel like this is something I wanted,
Mhm.
even if I don't know where it was going to come from? I was not promiscuous.
Mm.
However, something was erupted. You messed with a particular part of my life that was supposed to be sacred.
Mm.
And now I don't know what to do. I don't know what to expect. I don't know what to feel. I don't know what to say. I don't know what tomorrow holds. I don't know
Mm.
what I would have been like if it did not take place.
Mhm.
But those define moments, because I'm listening to you, and through those moments, we have had to talk to our pain,
Mm.
fight with our pain, answer
Mm.
our pain. And if we did not do that, we didn't do it alone. God was right there with us. And if we did not take those stands, would we be able to sit here today and reach out or be the voice for others?
Mm.
So at
Mm-mm.
some point in time, even if at that moment we felt like that was the worst instance ever, there was a lesson to be learned in it.
Mm.
Did we learn anything? Did we grow from it?
Mm.
Did we try to impart what we learn on anybody else, or were we
Mm.
selfish with it and impart our pain onto somebody else?
Mm.
Because a lot of us, like you say, you try to numb your pain. Your pain was numbed by taking care of somebody else. Some of us numb our pain by drinking, by
Mm-hmm.
ignoring what took place, by taking medication, by using drugs, by even becoming even more sexually involved. I know for me, I didn't want nobody to touch me. I'm not even attracted to men, put it that way. I'm not attracted to women either. Let me clear that up. However, however, back in school, you see these boys and you're like, oh, he handsome or whatever. I didn't care because what I was interested in, or what I'm still interested in, is getting to know that person's mind.
Mm.
Yes, they might have a good body. Yes, they might be athletic. Yes, they might
Mm.
be financially stable, whatever it is.
Mm.
But do you have a mindset that's set for love, for
Mm.
caring? And so whatever took place with us had a profound impact on our life. And it helped mold us. Where are we today?
Mm. Mm.
How are we dealing with situation? How am I dealing with the challenges that are being faced?
Mm.
As a mother, as a daughter, as a friend, as an employee, as a passerby, how am I dealing? Am I quick to judge others, not knowing the ones that have occurred in their life?
Mm.
Mm.
Am
That's
I
good.
quick to am I quick to see this person acting in a particular manner? Even if a person is promiscuous, wearing the shortest dress, inappropriate, am I quick to judge her, or has she been through something?
Mm.
Is she dealing with a situation? And how
Mm.
am I going to use my experience to help pull her out of that?
Mm.
And as I reflect on everything that have taken place, like I told you guys, I've been in a positive, reflective mood recently. And some of it have been painful, and
Mhm.
some of it have been, okay, what am I going to do about this? How am I going
Mhm.
to deal with it? What has it done for me?
Mhm.
Is it going to, has it had that impact that I'm going to crumble? And I've
Mhm.
noticed, and I know I'm not going to crumble anytime soon.
Mm.
And as I look at each and every situation, and there's been a few, my common denominator has been forgiveness. If I did not forgive in each instance, I would have been torn apart and been thrown in the trash.
Mm.
I felt like trash too. But somewhere in that moment, I found a way to forgive. I found a way to forgive the individuals that teased me. And God has a sense of humor and he's so on time. He will make it happen when we least expect it.
That's
He'll
right.
put a
Amen.
person in spot in place when we didn't even it's not what we love, it's not like what we're looking for. It's
Mm,
not what we expect. And in every instance, in my sexual abuse moment, in the moments that I was teased, and they weren't all always bad because all our challenges and all our moments are not bad moments. We have had good moments that
mm,
have shaped us as well.
mm.
But I found for me personally, forgiveness was key.
Amen.
And I didn't realize that. I didn't realize until I really started reflecting. And I wasn't digging up old wounds to start any chaotic situation. I was digging it up because with every time I bring up something, it heals me. Surprisingly, it may seem like, people think about trauma they've been through and it rises them up again. For me, it heals me.
Mm,
And I've seen hope and strength and the peace and the virtue that forgiveness have brought me.
mm,
Now, forgiveness, for hope, it was taking those pieces and putting them back together.
mhm,
And forgiveness is one of those tools. It's not a tool that will fix things. It's not going to fix it,
Hmm.
but it's a help in releasing the pain. It helps.
mm, mm,
It's not going to fix any situation.
mm,
It's not going to heal it, but it's a
mm,
tool. It's a start. It tells you that there's a possibility.
mhm,
Hmm.
And it tells you that, yes, it's a start. So you can start with the forgiveness. And even if you don't
Hmm.
start with it, it's a possible end. It
mm,
brings
Hmm.
closure. And
mm.
Hmm.
that point when you forgive, it's over with.
Amen.
It's
Yeah.
done with. Because now I have faced whatever I've dealt with. I have talked to my pain, and
Hmm.
now I have forgiven, and I'm on to the next level.
Mm,
Hmm.
But a lot of times we don't sit down and really address what is taking place. We just do things, live life and push our pain under the carpet.
mhm,
I'll deal with it tomorrow. Tomorrow come, the weekend come, I'm going to do some healing stuff. You decide to hang out with your girlfriends.
Hmm.
You go to church, you listen to a sermon, it makes sense in the moment you get out of church. Where we going for lunch?
mm.
It's not dealt with. And we just tend to just push it under the carpet until another situation arises. And at the time another one arrives, we're ready to throw our hands in the air.
Mm.
We have to
That
talk about pain, eh?
yeah, it reminds me of this scripture in Luke chapter 7, where Jesus was talking and he made a statement. He said, um, to those that are forgiven much, they love much.
Mm,
For those that are forgiven little, they love little.
mm,
And it's the reason why you ladies love God so much, because you've been forgiven. And when we talk about forgiveness, we're talking about it from a point of view where you are the one that's responsible for your own peace.
mm,
You are letting go of what's holding you captive by
mm,
forgiving.
mm,
Just releasing it and forgiving. It's a process and it's not easy.
mm,
But when I believe in the Bible, it was when the woman was washing his feet with her tears and drying it with her hair, and they started to talk like, hey, that perfume could have been sold for so much money. I mean, you got this nasty woman doing this
mm,
thing to you. And
mm,
Jesus talked about forgiveness.
mhm,
And I mean, he makes the most powerful statement about forgiveness. And he said, listen, I want this story here of what she's done for me. I want you to spread that. As you're talking and you having your conversations, I want you to talk, gossip that. Take
mm,
that information abroad, because what
mm,
she did for me, what she has done for me, you have not done for me at all. And he's
mm,
talking about those that are forgiven more, they love more.
mm,
And you guys have a love that is, I mean, for so many women that are hurting and people that are hurting, you want to share your story.
mm,
And I know we wish we had all day to just bless people. I just hated that it's the time just always runs up so quickly, Alicia. But I feel that it's so important, Faith.
Mm,
Everything that you
mm,
shared, everything Alicia shared today about the ones in our lives and how we just got so emotional. I'm just so emotional right now. I don't know if I want to cry. I don't know. It's like all of us need to take that time where we self reflect and ask God to really heal us, because sometimes we have some underlying things
mm,
that may have happened to us that we don't really remember, but somehow it's in our subconscious mind and it controls our behavior. And we don't even know why we're doing the things we're doing, we're saying the things we're saying, or we're feeling the way we're feeling. But it's something. So, we want to say to all of you that are watching, hey, just take a moment out and just ask God to just heal you, and just
mm,
forgive anyone, anything that you could remember, because it's going to free you and it's going to take you on that path where, like Faith said, that onion is peeling and the layers are removing, and it may take you 2 years. But
mm.
honey, when you get to the core and the perfection of the core, then you can be made whole.
Amen.
So thank you, Alicia. I don't know what to say. I'm speechless today. I'm really, really speechless. Faith, it was definitely a pleasure meeting you today, and I would love to hear your complete testimony again sometime. You really blessed me with everything that you said.
Mhm.
And I thank you. Continue to share this word. Continue to inspire people, because that's a lot. We don't have a lot of that, Alicia. We got
Mm.
people that they cover stuff up, and I've been saved all my life, and I'm good. And I don't know about you, and why your skirt's so short, and you got so many kids, and you this and you that. When you know that you've been through much worse things, and you just don't want to talk about it. But I like to say, speak the truth and shame the devil, and that's what you did today. Your truth has shamed the devil. So thank you. I can't say thank you enough, Alicia, for having me a part of this amazing chit chat with the Journey Sisters. And I feel like I need to just go on another journey.
I know, right?
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
I am I am speechless. I I started chit chat with the Journey Sisters on a journey,
Mm,
and have truly been an experience.
mm,
And I'm not gonna add much more because I'm gonna let, because if, like Ajena said, the hour has gone. I am so emotional. I'm trying very hard to hold it in. I should let it go, but but it's surreal.
mm,
We have to be transparent. We have to speak our truth. We have to confess our faults. You might say, why say it? Why somebody needs to hear it? Somebody needs to be healed.
mm,
And if we have learned how to heal,
mm,
why not share it? Why not help somebody else who, like Faith, have contemplated suicide?
mm,
And for Faith, who is smiling through her pain,
mm,
she had a conversation with God. The next person might not have anybody to have a conversation with.
mm,
Yet God is present, but because they don't have a relationship with Him, they might not hear His voice.
mm,
So I thank you, ladies, so much. I thank you so much, Faith. I am not going to add, I'm just going to ask for closing remarks. I need to breathe.
Breathe,
Me
I
too.
need
breathe.
to breathe. I'm holding everything on the inside. Talk about a challenge. This just added to my challenge list, but one that I'm going to take with pride,
Mhm.
and I'm going to be diligent about dealing with it, because this is a lot. This is heavy.
It is. It
It,
is.
it it's not a fly by night situation.
Mm,
It's not something that, like Faith say, heals, or it doesn't
mm,
heal overnight.
mm,
This is years of pain and hurt.
mm,
But if we can be the voice for individuals who think that they have lost their voice and their confidence, we will be that voice, because we were
yes.
blessed with that opportunity.
Mm.
So, Janelle, I'm going to ask you let me ask our guests first. I'm going to ask you, Faith, to give some closing remarks and where they can find you, how they can follow you.
Oh, sure, sure. Okay. Thank you so much. Before I forget this, if you are a survivor of sexual abuse and you have never shared this with anyone, and probably now this conversation may have triggered your pain, please don't deny it, because we don't heal what we don't reveal. Just how when you get bruised on your knee, you have to take it to hospital, your brain recognizes your emotional wound as a real wound. When you don't reveal it to find healing, then it will be hard for you to have an abundant life. And just how Janelle has said, you will never discover your purpose in life and you'll be so resentful. So you can find help. You can find help. Just sought for help, reach out for help, and you can find help. And my last word is from the Bible. Habakkuk chapter 3, verse 17 says, though the fig tree may not blossom, nor fruit be on the vines, though the labor of the olive may fail, and the fields yield no fruit, nor food, though the flock may be cut off from the fold, and there be no herd in their stalls, yet I will rejoice in the Lord. I will joy in the God of my salvation. Though you may feel delayed of receiving your vision or whatever it is that you've been praying for, the Lord promises that though the vision may tarry, though it may take long, I, the Lord your God, will make it happen. So hold on to that hope. Reach out to people. If one person fails you and betray you, seek for more help from other people. There's always one person who will believe you. Don't suffer in silence. So you can follow me on Facebook. My Facebook profile is Faith Gore, and I have a Facebook page called Teacher Faith. And I have actually shared my story extensively on YouTube. Alicia, I'll probably drop my the link on your Facebook chat if that's okay with you.
Go right ahead.
Yeah, I'll share the link over there. Then guys can follow from there. Thank you so much. We'll probably have another chit chat.
Looking forward to it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you, Faith.
Thank you, Faith.
I'm still trying to breathe too. But I just want to leave you with Jeremiah 29 and 11. For I know the thoughts that I think towards you, says the Lord, thoughts of good and not of evil, thoughts of good and not of evil, thoughts of good and not of evil, to give you an expected end. And so even though you may be going through and you may be in that place of pain, I want you to know that there is a purpose for your pain, and God will never waste your pain. So your pain will never be in vain, because God has a plan for your life. So you can follow me on Facebook. I am She Inspired Women is my page. You can just find me under Janelle Drayton. I am also on Instagram as Miss_She Inspired. That's MISS_She Inspired. Thank you so much for this opportunity, Elisa. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And Faith, thank you so much too.
Thank you so much, ladies. Faith, I know it's almost midnight there, and I do appreciate you taking this and spending this time with us. Thank you for your words and your telling your story, for being so transparent. And we will chit chat again. And I'm praying that what we spoke about this afternoon, what we revealed, that it would have imparted some positivity on somebody.
Mm.
Danielle, as usual, thank you so much for being my co-host, keeping me grounded. Thank you for, I don't know if I should say thank you for me being your shoulder, because Faith, she
Yes.
brings everything to me. She brings everything to me. So I still have to prepare myself for that challenge. But thank you, Danielle, for everything. I want to thank our audience, because we're not talking to the ear. We're not, yes, you're in my living room, in your living room, and we're having a conversation, but it's a conversation that's reaching the world. So I want to thank our audience for tuning in, for their words of encouragement, for their support, for those individuals who reach out and say, you know what, I I've been there. I'm going through it. And I just needed to hear that I wasn't alone. Thank you so much. And my closing words, I'm gonna keep it real. Pain hurts. Words hurt. And every time I hear the word, and not just me, you might hear the word forgive. Forgiveness is a fighting word. When you say forgive, I want to fight, you know, because when you think about somebody betraying you, your eyes get teary, your chest start pounding, your body goes numb. You don't want to deal with it. You have the fist pump, you're ready to do it. Especially if the person that hurt you is probably on social media or in your neighborhood and walking around like they have life going on. So I'm not telling you that forgiveness is easy. It's not. None of us are telling you that. None of us are telling that that hurting and healing is an easy process. But what do you do about it makes a difference. And I suggest that you call it what it is. You're hurting, say I'm hurting. You're in pain, say I'm in pain.
Mm,
Fess up to what it did to you. It did something to me. It
mm,
did something to my outlook on life.
mm,
It did something to me in the way I treat people,
mm,
in the way I even treat myself.
mm,
And prepare yourself to grieve and to heal.
mm,
Yes.
If
mm,
we don't, you have to fess up to it and be prepared to start healing.
mm,
I can take you, and I know you have an impediment. Take you to the doctor to be. If you don't want to go to the doctor, you're not going to go. If you don't
mhm,
want to take that medication, you're not going to take it.
mm,
And that wound will steady and fester. But if I
mm,
prepare myself that I want different, that I'm intentional about it, it will happen. And no one can tell you how to forgive or how
mm,
to deal with your emotions.
mm,
But I promise you, and I'm going to put a promise on it, that prayer, love, and intentionality works.
mm,
But you have to take care of you to heal before you start forgiving,
mm,
before you start taking care of anything.
mm,
And I'm going to breathe now
mm.
because I've been holding it in. I ask you to do the same because
Exhale.
it was loaded. And I'm
Yes.
going to wish my audience a wonderful week, a wonderful month until
Mm.
we meet again. Thank you, ladies. And I pray that God will continue to be your head of household,
Amen.
not
Thank
just be
you.
head of your household.
Amen.
Wonderful one. And we're going to sign off now. Bye,
Thank you.
Bye.
everyone.
Ciao.
Bye.